Decentralized exchanges can be shared into a few different categories, which we'll go through in this video. So you can find the best decks for your needs. You have AMM dexes, which are really the old school type of decks where you trade one asset for another. You have stable dexes, which attempt to reduce fees when you are trading like assets. For example, two stable coins, you have future dexes, which have recently appeared where you can actually trade crypto futures while keeping custody of your assets. And then you have aggregators, which attempt to get you the best price. We'll go through all of this in this video. When most people think of a decentralized exchange, they will think of Uniswap, and this is in the category of an AMM DEX or an automated market maker DEX. We actually have two right here, which is Uniswap and pancakeswap. Actually, pancakeswap is essentially just Uniswap. pancakeswap actually takes the Uniswap code, which means they basically just copy it and then change the branding, change the front end, everything like that. But it's essentially the same thing now. An AMM DEX or a market maker DEX uses an algorithm to essentially try and price assets based on supply and demand of the trade of those assets. So a market maker used to be a human being who know the price of things based on supply and demand. Well, now an algorithm does this based on buyers and sales of those two tokens. So when it comes to Uniswap, why would you choose Uniswap over PancakeSwap? Well, Uniswap is by far the most used trade with the most volume out of any decentralized exchanges. We can actually look at that on CoinGecko. Go to exchanges and then decentralized exchanges, and you will see here the 24-hour volume on Uniswap in multiples of anything else. But we do have PancakeSwap as well. Now, PancakeSwap actually has more users than Uniswap, but typically on PancakeSwap you will get smaller tokens, volume traded kind of the binary smart chains tokens which just have less volume, less institutional volume, more retail volume, but they are essentially under the hood. The exact same thing so on Uniswap, you can see it's incredibly simple. To swap tokens, you can see that Ethereum and the ETH layer, which is Polygon Optimism, Arbitrum are supported here. And they have actually just introduced BNB chain support as well. So you can choose one asset and then you can choose the other asset that you want and swap it into, and is going to give you a price based on the supply and demand of these assets on the platform. And it says fetching best price also. PancakeSwap here, you can see trade swap is actually the same thing. You have two assets that you trade. You can connect your wallet, swap using BNB Smart Chain and Ethereum. They also added Aptos as well. Again, PancakeSwap more towards the kind of gaming and retail side with support for your tokens on there. Well, there is a limit order features on PancakeSwap. You can use limit order and actually choose prices that you want set for your trade, and you can input those limit orders and they will not go through unless the price reaches the price that you have set. But the swap right here, this is the V3, which is trying to get you the best prices for all your swaps. Which one of these is best? It really doesn't matter. They are going to be almost exactly the same. Let's look at stable dexes, otherwise known as stable swaps. Now, that is a different type of algorithm. It uses something called bonded curves. It essentially tries to get you a much better trade than the automated market maker dexes. When tokens don't have liquidity, it's very difficult to try and trade them. Now, stable dexes really only deal in assets that are very similar to each other and have very deep liquidity. For example, two stable coins like USDT and USDC, these are exactly the same thing for all intents intent and purposes. And they have deep liquidity and dollar, and that means you can circle an algorithm that trades very high volumes with very low slippage, and so you get a better price overall. We have core finance, which is kind of the A1 example of this text. Core finance really deals with assets that are very similar to each other, true, though they don't support all tokens. PancakeSwap actually adds this for certain types of assets too. If you are trading like asset on PancakeSwap, for example, two stablecoins, let's say we choose the USDC and then we choose maybe a TUSD or USDC, you are going to be getting the stable swap here with the low slippage. And we have feature decks. Feature decks, we can use the Apex Pro, the GMX aggregators. Feature decks allow you to keep custody of your assets and um low avoid high slippage value. And we also have the aggregators. So these are basically some of the top 7 decks that you can see and you can use